Second, give everybody a chance to get caught up. Hopefully we got the sound working tonight and everything's going to be good. So we'll just give a couple minutes here and hopefully we'll be up and rolling, everybody. Got a big night of baseball coming up. Toronto's winning 2-0, so hey, everything's good so far. So we'll just give a couple minutes here and we'll let everybody get caught up. Hope everybody's having an awesome summer so far. Well, I guess the summer's kind of over, sadly. So one bad thing about the last weekend in September, I guess, right? That Labor Day weekend, we call it up here in Canada. Is it Labor Day weekend in down in the States? I don't know. I don't know if you get holidays. We got viewers actually lucky enough on this live stream all around the world when they check in. So if you have a holiday on Monday, hopefully you got a long weekend. If you got to work, my other half does too. Sorry about that, but we do appreciate your hard work. Have the window open, so hopefully there won't be too much background noise going on, and we're going to talk some baseball. I'm excited. We haven't done a live stream in a little while, so I'm glad everybody's going to get a chance to tune in tonight. And the Blue Jays right now are over in Pittsburgh. They're winning 2-0, fingers crossed, and we really need a win. Don't even need a win. We need a sweep here in Pittsburgh. We need to be going strong when we hit Baltimore running. It is September. It is go time. It is time for the Blue Jays to be playing with a sense of urgency. That is right. A sense of urgency. And what do I mean by that? Well, lately it seems like in some of the games in June, July, and August, seems like there was, I don't know, a lack of focus sometimes. Even a little bit of a lack of energy. And I think that actually replicated into one or two losses. And we don't want to get into that situation where we lose by one game and we don't make it into the playoffs. I don't think we're running into a situation like that. But one of the things that I think might be lost is home field advantage, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But as I said, right now, the Jays are going strong, 2-0. Alek Manoah is on the field. He is rocking right now. But when you play a team like Pittsburgh, you almost want to beat them up, especially now that we're into their bullpen. We want like a 5-0, 6-0 game. Hey, I'm greedy, so we'll see. And the nice thing about the Blue Jays is it looks like for tomorrow's game, Saturday's game against Pittsburgh, the Jays are going to do a bullpen session. That's what they're hinting at right now. And this is good news because it means that the Blue Jays are getting very smart here and aggressive come playoff time. It means that they're actually maybe even a little bit worried about the Orioles and holding off Kevin Gausman and Jose Barrios for that doubleheader on Monday. Are you excited about that? I'm excited. I'm almost a little bit nervous too about this doubleheader because it is the Orioles. The Orioles are about a game and a half out of the playoffs, right behind, the Toronto Blue Jays. That's right. And the Orioles have had some significant call-ups over the last day. Most significant, and I wrote it down here so I don't get the name right, Gunnar Henderson. Sorry, I don't know why I was looking at that. I was thinking Gunnar Hoglund, right? Thinking of the Jays. Sorry. Shortstop, he's got some pop in his bat. I was looking at his minor league numbers just quickly. Truthfully, I don't know a lot about him. That's why I'm grabbing the paper to look at the name. But, needless to say, the Orioles are going to get a little bit better. I said earlier in one of my vlogs, the Orioles are one of those teams that I'm a little bit worried about. When a team gets hot this time of the year, sometimes that eclipses talent, Cy Young winners, MVP hitters. It's that energy, it's that mojo, and that is one thing that the Baltimore Orioles definitely have going for them. And that's scary for the Jays because if there's one team that the Baltimore Orioles have a ton of against come September, even those first few games in October, that's right, it's the Blue Jays. More than 10 games, that's right. So if the Orioles get significantly hot, which they could, Jays, you are in trouble. So that's why the Jays are doing a bullpen game against the low-key Pirates this weekend, saving Jose Barrios, saving Kevin Gausman for that big doubleheader on Monday, and I am excited about that. And talking about the MLB playoffs and the Jays, this is where I was saying there's a difference between playing with a sense of confidence, but confidence and urgency. And this lack of urgency or focus sometimes, we saw it a couple games ago where it was just disastrous all around for the Blue Jays. Now, Vladdy's been one of the best first basemen, all basemen. He was just recognized for that, for being one of the best. But needless to say, this lack of urgency from the Blue Jays to a certain degree has cost them home field advantage. And that's what really stinks. Even if they make the playoffs, now it's about making the playoffs. Where earlier in the year, Vladdy made that comment, hey, this is a movie, I'm not going to get into that. It looked like the Jays were a lock for that home field advantage. And what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to get the 1-2 teams, they're going to get a bye, and you're going to get that third team. I don't know if who's it's going to be. It's certainly not going to be Houston or New York, but it's going to be the other teams. Card in the MLB playoffs. Sorry, I'm stumbling in explaining this. The last two teams that secure a wild card spot in the playoffs don't get home field advantage. They don't get any home games for that 3-game wild card playoffs. Boom, boom, boom. Right now, if it happened, the Jays would be going to Cleveland and playing 3 games against the Cleveland Guardians. That's right. Think about that. No home field advantage, and if you are a Blue Jays fan, if you know the Blue Jays, if you remember back to 2014, 15, 16, when we had those, how loud the Sky Dome can get. I call it the Sky Dome, Rogers Center. Remember when Jose Bautista, the bat flip, that home run, the place was shaking. And that's the energy you want for the playoffs, and it's going to be a shame that the Jays might miss that. Now, granted, the Jays could get really hot. They do have games against Tampa Bay. They got some games against, I don't know if they have games against Seattle. Let me know in the comments below if they do. Needless to say, they could get hot. They're only 2 games out of securing that home field advantage. So I'm not eyeballing the playoffs. I'm saying, hey, Toronto, let's get tough. Let's get it done. I want to see you guys secure home field advantage. That's what I want. But right now, we're just trying to get through the Orioles. And if we stumble next week against the Orioles, could you imagine losing 4 out of 5 against the Orioles? Being 2 games out of a playoff spot with 3 weeks to go in baseball? That is a scary time. And with a young core like the Jays, I don't know how they're going to react when getting stressed like that. And that could be the biggest concern. You get some big teams like, say, the Padres, Dodgers. Not that the Dodgers would be in this situation, or even the Braves where they're just outside. Not that the Braves would be in this situation. What I'm saying is the talent on those teams, they have that veteran. I certainly don't think so. We'll just have to around first, though. Manoah's still pitching at least into the 7th. He's got a good game going, 2-0, making a case for, well, I don't want to say Cy Young. I think that's going to go to Verlander. Let's talk about Justin Verlander for a second. Amazing. He's going to opt out of that contract, so that's what's going to happen there. But what numbers? An under 2 ERA with the age? Sorry, not to call him an old man, but he's up there. It's just unbelievable what he's been able to do. He's going to opt out. He's going to get a monster contract. He's getting that Max Scherzer money next season. You just wait and see. He's going to get himself paid. As they said in the movie, show him the money. Back the Brinks truck up, Houston, because that's what you're going to need to get Verlander signed. Kudos to you. I love stories like that, even if it's not for the Jays. Now, on the other side, talking about a team that's going downhill, I did a vlog about MLB losers at the MLB trade deadline, and certainly the Red Sox were on that. Don't worry, the Jays were on that too. But the Red Sox, some teams were going up, down. Looks like the Red Sox were going sideways, trading away veteran catchers to trade for Reese McGuire, to get Eric Hosmer. I don't know. It was a weird time for the Red Sox. And now they're just running into more and more bad luck. Wild card is a look like, and then hey, I'm not a Red Sox fan, so I'm happy for their dismay. Never happy to see a player get injured, but always happy when the Red Sox miss the playoff. Sorry, Boston, New England fan. you still have those days with Tom Brady, and all those NFL, so you can't really say anything if I beat you up on your Red Sox. That being said, Tanner Hook, gone, done. Chris Sale, done. Injury. Looks like it's going to be really bothersome. And I'm a little bit upset because there looks like there was some magic in Chris Sale for a second. I know there was that incident where, if you look at the videos, Google it, with him back in the minors smashing everything up. But I was kind of excited to see Chris Sale back on the mound again, even against my Blue Jays. So it's upsetting that he got hurt. Hopefully, I guess some good things for them in 2023 season, but they are done, and that basically roasts the rest of the Red Sox season. And talking about players who are off, I want to tip my hat to Austin Meadows, the Detroit Tigers, taking the rest of the season off to deal with some mental health issues, something that's really not expressed a lot, especially in Major League Baseball. Now, I don't want to be cynical, but it's easy to take the rest of the season off to deal with a mental health issue when you're playing for the Tigers and you're certainly not in a playoff contention. It'd be a different story for Austin Meadows if he was in a playoff contention team. Not to dismay his mental health issues in any way. I wish him the best. I think it's courageous to take that time off. But as I said, it'd be interesting to see how the story would unfold if, say, it was for Tampa Bay or even Toronto. I don't know. Maybe we're a little bit more understanding. We'll just have to wait and see. And talking about big players, I did a vlog today, so I'm going to talk about it quickly. Clear my throat. We'll go on for like another 10 minutes here for this quick ramble tonight. Juan Soto, no go, no extension. That's right. I don't think the San Diego Padres realize what they bit off with the Juan Soto trade. I always said he's a great player. Not a player I'm going to empty my farm system for. Ohtani might be. But Juan Soto, I don't know. I really think the Padres overpaid. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction to the rest of their division, feeling like they had to do some catch-up to the Braves, perhaps, and certainly the Dodgers. And I'm not going to get off to the miserable start that the Padres have had with Soto. I mean, he's playing catch-up now. I think time will really tell, especially next season, if the Soto trade works out. But Soto ain't going to sign no extension. I don't know what the Padres were thinking. I would only trade that amount of capital, that amount of farm system to the Nationals if I was guaranteed that I'm getting more than 2 years out of this dude. That I was going to get that big 12, 15-year extension. That I was rolling the dice and going all in. Because if you're pushing that many prospects Washington's way, you got to be prepared to go all in. Make the big extension. Sorry, I'm losing my voice tonight. Do the signing. And if you did the history on Soto, you know he turned down over $400 million with the Nationals. You know he wants a $500+ million contract. And I said I don't even think if the Padres offered him $35 million over 15 years, $525 million over $500 million, gulp. I still think he'd turn it down. He likes the energy. He's a lot like Marcus Stroman, not in how he plays, but his personality. Outspoken, twittery, really out there in the public. He's going to want that frenzy, that bidding frenzy, that fight over him, that demand, that press. He wants to hit the free agency. He's going to get the record-breaking contract unless something drastically happens. He's rolling the dice. He's going to wait. And that's why Juan Soto, no go, no extension. I am saying that. And talking about players, too, pardon me, I'm going to have a sip, who will not be signing an extension, let's talk about one of the Jays, and something that's not been discussed really this season, and that's Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez turned down a contract extension with the Jays in 2020, turned down another one in 2021. One wasn't presented to him this year. He will be a free agent at the end of next year, so we still got him for the 2023 season, probably around $14 million. I'm saying with the arbitration all said and done. And I don't think he's going to sign that extension. I think the Jays are around $75, $80 million over 5 years. He wants that big 6-year contract, maybe 7 if he can squeeze it out. He wants definitely over $125 million. And let's give him that. I'm not saying the Jays, but you got to realize why he wants to do that. Teoscar Hernandez is going to be 31 at the end of next year, so when he hits free agency, it's going to be for his 32, 33, 34 years moving on. So he's going to try to find somebody who's going to pay him up to 38. I hope it's not the Blue Jays. It would have been nice if the Jays could get it done, but now that we're towards the end of it, it ain't happening. So two things are going to happen with Teoscar Hernandez. One, Jays are just going to use that $14 million, bit of a deal, play him out next season. Two, he's going to be trade bait in the offseason for a big starter. I don't know which way it's going to go. Let me know in the comments below. I always appreciate your thoughts there. But that's certainly what's going to happen with Teoscar Hernandez. And talking about Blue Jays extensions, we'll talk about Vladdy. I'm going to save that for the very end, at the end of the conversation tonight. But let's talk about Bo Bichette. I think Bo Bichette's going to be the odd man out come extension time. This is what I think is going to happen. I think Vladdy, it's inevitable, is going to sign a huge contract with the Blue Jays. He's going to have multiple opt-outs, so he's not going to be here for 15 years. He'll opt out after 6 or 7 when he's like 29. Up an ante with another team for a monstrous contract. But he is going to sign something big with the Jays anyways. That will happen, and he'll be making over $20 million. I think the Jays are going to get aggressive and sign Alek Manoah this offseason, especially the way he's pitching tonight. 2-0, 7 innings. Wow. And maybe $50 million a year. 8. Though, you're going to have Vladdy making over $20 million. Don't forget Springer, Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios. You factor those 4 players in, you're already north of $90 million. Add in Manoah, that's 5. You're already $100 million. Due for extensions, we just said T.O. no, but certainly players like Lourdes Gurriel. Yeah. This offseason or next offseason, but I think that's going to happen, especially with how well Espinal's been playing. And I would even go so much as to say they could sacrifice, if it was a huge starter they were getting for Bo, and sacrificing Bo this offseason, we could actually use Espinal as a shortstop. Kevin Biggio could fit in at second. I know it's a little bit less, but it could get the job done. I don't know. What do you think? It's sort of my feelings with Teoscar, but certainly Teoscar. And why? Well, next year in the outfield, we're going to have George Springer. We're going to have Lourdes Gurriel. You're going to have Whit Merrifield. We're going to have Tapia. And if you need him in a pinch, Kevin Biggio. That's 5 outfielders, without even including Teoscar. So that's why they're not going to extend him, and that's why, furthermore, the Jays could actually trade him. So I don't know. Could we actually afford to lose both Bo and Teoscar? That'd be a tough one to swallow. We certainly have to ante up somewhere else along the lineup. But if it meant we got a solid number 1 ace to join Jose Barrios, Kevin Gausman, and Alek Manoah, I'd be sold. And even furthermore, I wouldn't be upset if we traded Bo and Teoscar to get somebody like Ohtani. Do we throw in Moreno? Is that overpay? That's a vlog I've done and we won't get into again. Talking about other teams, I think we got to talk about the Padres quickly and what's going on with Tatis. I know he signed that huge extension. Now he's out for, 80 games? Was it 80 or 90? It was huge. Big one. Ringworm. Who knew that ringworm was going to cause you to lose a basic half season or 60% of a season of the baseball? All of the playoffs, especially now that they ended up and got Soto. It's just going to be a blemish on Tatis. It'll be interesting to see how he handles it. I don't think it's going to be anything bad when he comes back. His numbers are going to dip. But he's certainly going to be something on his record. And that lack of leadership or maturity that everybody's been saying there, it's something that he's going to have to own and really show moving forward. The question, though, is how is it going to affect their playoff run this year? Is it really going to be big come playoff time? And if Soto's in a slump, is somebody like Atlanta or the LA Dodgers going to eat them up quickly? I think so. I think the Padres are going to be one of those teams for the next few years that get chewed up quickly and spit out in baseball. And it's really an anomaly or a testament to how good the National League is over there, because I think the Padres on paper is one of the best teams in baseball. But hey, I think the LA Angels on paper look like one of the best teams in baseball, and they can't even make the playoffs. And let's pivot to the Angels quickly, because isn't that sad? It looks like the only reason why Ohtani is still in an Angels lineup is to increase the value for the sale of the team. Yeah, baseball, marketing, money. Billionaires trying to make extra billion. Real sad, considering teams have now publicly said it's true that they were going to let the Angels pick whatever prospects they wanted to get Ohtani. Some teams were willing to give up four top 100 prospects to get this deal done. The Angels could have restacked considerably. And since they can't trade Rendon, no trade. Mike Trout, no trade. Both injured, both making huge money, over $30 million. You could have got a slew of players that could have complemented them and maybe finally started to rebuild their team properly to make an MLB playoff run. Instead, I guess it's about selling jerseys and t-shirts over in Los Angeles Angels territory, not about making the playoffs. That's a shame. Makes me some ways grateful that at least we have an ownership like the Rogers and management that we do, and they've been getting things done. Kudos to the Toronto ownership right now, doing a good job. Another team that I think is going to be a little bit upset, as I said, the Angels missing out on Ohtani on the trade deadline, is going to be the Giants. Looks like they're going to miss the playoffs for sure. They could have got a haul for Rodon. Now it looks like he's going to certainly opt out. He's going to be a free agent. He's putting up elite numbers. They could have at least got a top 100 for him. Some awesome prospects to head back to the Giants. Now they're getting a big goose egg for him. A big nothing. And Brandon Belt buggered up his knee, having knee season-ending surgery. I know he's around for next year. Who knows how he's going to rebound after that surgery. Certainly another player that the Giants could have got some great prospects for. Maybe even a top 100 prospects. So I think the Giants are going to be a little upset they didn't get aggressive in moving some of their talent at the MLB trade deadline. And they're certainly going to play for it when they look at their farm system and they see players disappearing, walking off to other teams, and maybe even Brandon Belt not even starting next season. We're just going to have to wait and see what's happening over in the Giants. But if I was a Giants fan, I would be mad as hell. Talking about MLB playoff time, looks like the Jays made some small moves. Certainly nothing significant. Are we all excited to see Bradley Zimmer back? Yeah, I guess it's just filling out a bench. Maybe he's just familiar with the Jays. I don't know what that's about, but I'm not an MLB executive, so, and when you got the expanded bench, he's just going to be somebody who you may hopefully not see a lot of. Maybe backup, maybe defense. Maybe that's what it is. And I guess we got a conundrum. Hopefully insurance is going to pay Hinge and Ryu's salary next year. That last spot for the Jays, thank God Strickland's owning number 4 right now and owning that well, but he's going to be gone as a free agent. And now we got the mess of Kikuchi and White. Now, with White, I think we got to say that the verdict is still out. I think we really need to give him the offseason and give him a chance to turn around. If you look at Stripling and even Robbie Ray when their first season here, you would never have thought that they would turn into a Cy Young winner or what Ross Stripling is now. So let's give White a little bit of time. He's getting thrown into a stressful situation right off the hop to be a rotation starter when he was supposed to be a swing man. I know you have to meet expectations sometimes, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hey, the Jays got one out, bases loaded, and Mr. Jackie Bradley Jr. is up to bat. Another insurance piece. Not somebody I'm too fond of. That's why I'm surprised we got Zimmer when we got Bradley. But we'll just have to wait and see what they're going to do over there. Do you think Jackie Bradley Jr. with one out is actually going to get an RBI here? What are the over and odds on that? Let's see. He's 0-1 right now. I don't know. He's had one grand slam his entire life. Jackie Bradley, I don't know. You're not who I would want up in the bat if this was a situation. Anyways, I'll keep you updated here as the game's going on here, what's going on with Bradley. Talking about the Blue Jays as we close up here, let's talk about the offseason quickly. I think two things need to happen. I think a pitcher that the Jays really need to give some significant thought to, who they might be able to get a little bit cheaper maybe on a 2-year deal, maybe 3 if they stretch it out and hope for no injuries, is Thor. Noah Syndergaard. I think he might be a solid bet for number 4 next year. And if we had a rotation of next year of Jose Barrios, Kevin Gausman, Alek Manoah, Noah Syndergaard, and I guess White and Kikuchi, that's how it's going to be for number 5. Sorry, guys. That wouldn't be the end of the world. And it will allow us to still keep our players like Bo and Teoscar and not make significant changes. And we could actually maybe trade Teoscar or somebody like that for an all-star closer. We'll just have to wait and see. What are your thoughts, though? Maybe I'm just romanticizing about having Thor come back and a return there? But Noah Syndergaard did say that the Jays were certainly a runner-up. So was Verlander, honestly, too. Imagine if we had Verlander this year and he was pitching the way he was. But Noah Syndergaard and the Jays have done their homework. He will be a free agent again. He's pitching pretty good. Not great, but certainly somebody capable of a number 4 spot as long as he's healthy. I don't want to pay him over $20 million though, but if we can get him for 3 years, 50, it's something I would consider. And last, I'm still big on the idea of trading Gabriel Moreno and all of his capital right now for prospects. We got Alejandro Kirk, we got Danny Jansen, and I would trade Kirk too and bring Moreno up. We can go either or. I don't care which way. And getting some low prospects, but solid ones, single A prospects. So that way in the next 3 years, when we're getting to the end of the run of players like maybe Vladdy goes, or Bo, or certainly Chapman will be on his way out, Espinal, goes on and on. There will be a turnover in players. We're starting that rebuild now. We're getting that farm system together. Jackie Bradley Jr. struck out. There you go. Womp womp. But anyways, Gabriel Moreno, trading him for prospects that won't arrive for another 3 years is something I'm big on. Something the Jays could do to really start padding that farm system again. I don't know. It's tough to sell somebody, I don't want to say sell, but let's trade somebody with that much capital. But when we have such a log jam in the catching position, it's something that we should consider. Especially with how much it's going to cost us for Vladdy. And let's talk about Vladdy. I think it's going to be a contract where he has an opt-out after 6 or 7 years, right? This way he can enter free agency again around 29, maybe 28 if it goes Vladdy's way, extending him 2 extra years past his arbitration in the 2028. If we can get that out of Vladdy, that would be great. We also have to guarantee him for another 12 years past that, or 11 years, something like 17 years, something ridiculous at $30 million. Something that goes around 480 to 520 million bucks. Yeah, huge numbers for Vladdy. But you're thinking 500 million bucks, can the Jays afford that? It's really going to be about $25 million a year for the next 6 years. 150 million, maybe 180 tops, George Springer type money. And then Vladdy's going to opt out. That's what the Jays really need to do to get the job done. But by saying, hey, we're willing to play Vladdy 500 plus million bucks, makes a statement. Shows that the Blue Jays organization is one of the big time organizations in baseball, that they're here to play, they're here to fight. However, committing $35-40 million a year forever, not something I'm interested in. Not even something with Vladdy. You get into situations like the Angels organization where they can't afford to extend Ohtani. And we should be thankful. If the Jays are spending between $150 million to $200 million a year, you got great ownership. There's nothing to complain about that. You could be the Oakland Athletics scraping to get $50 million together. So if the Jays are spending $180 million bucks a year, we're doing great. But if Vladdy's making 40 and you got 3 other players making 75, now you got like 65% of your entire budget over 4 players. This is what's happened in Los Angeles for the Angels and why they won't be able to afford to extend Ohtani unless, of course, they get new ownership and a big wallet. And you can get somebody like Cohen, Cohen who owns the Mets, somebody like him who can go into the Angels and redo that. But the Jays really can't. So it's important that the Jays really balance that moving forward, but they can still offer Vladdy that big contract. Now I'm just rambling on. Last but not least, I talked about the MLB prize giveaway. We're going to be doing one more live stream tomorrow night. And if you watch tomorrow night's live stream, you're going to realize that the prize and the question are going to be in there. So if you watch the live stream tomorrow night, you're going to be able to get the question and answer in the comments below. And the reason why I'm giving you a tip tonight is so you can watch tomorrow night. No, I'm just saying that. One thing, though, is if you use the word Bo Bichette, that's one of the two answers for tomorrow. So I'm giving you a clue. We're going to be doing an MLB $50 gift card giveaway. So a big one. So you're going to want to get in on that. It's going to be 9 o'clock tomorrow night. One more MLB live stream. So I'm hoping everybody tunes in. We're going to be doing the prize. One of the answers is Bo Bichette. You got to tune in tomorrow to get the other one. So, hope everybody has an awesome weekend. Hope it's a long weekend. Hope you get some barbecue into you. And really look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow night. And more importantly, let's hope for a Jays win. Take care, everybody. Haven't hit subscribe? Do so. Hit like. Check out the vlogs. We'll talk soon. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.